Hello, this is KTM Pappy. I'm out on a ride on my 1987 Yamaha Venture Royale. This bike has got 54,000 miles on it. Had just a shade over 53,000 when I first got it. I bought it with the idea that a person could go touring on a budget. This thing is loaded. It's got a CB radio. It's got a AM/FM cassette stereo. It's got cruise control. No, it doesn't have air conditioning. Living here in the valley, it could use air conditioning, but it just wasn't available on a motorcycle and still isn't. I've had this bike for a couple of months now, and just to prove that you could go touring on a budget, I paid $2,000 for it, and so far I haven't had to do anything. It had one little glitch on the starter button. It kills the headlights and everything when you engage the starter. And the switch was a little sticky, and it didn't return all the way, and I couldn't figure out why my headlights weren't coming on. I got to looking up the wire schematic on it, and it said everything got killed with the starter switch. So I was going down the road. It wasn't quite dark yet, but I figured, let me check this puppy out. So I just took my thumb, I don't know if you can see that, but I toggled that starter switch back, and boom, the headlight came on. So I just, when I got back home with it, I just took a little WD-40 and sprayed in that starter switch, worked it back and forth, cleaned it out, and now everything's working fine. The headlight comes on normally. If you're not familiar with the Venture Royale, the 1987 is a 1300cc V4 engine. Supposed to make 98 horsepower, but this is a very heavy motorcycle. It weighs just a shade under 800 pounds. So the 98 horsepower doesn't feel quite as responsive as my XS 1100 did. The XS 1100 made roughly 90 horsepower, and it was a lot quicker. The only downside to this bike that I can see so far is the real low-speed handling, like you're going through a parking lot, isn't the greatest in the world, but it is acceptable, and you get used to the way it handles. But I've been kind of enjoying it. I no longer have my KTM 450. I gave my KTM 450 to my son, and the CRF 250, I went ahead and sold that, so I don't have any more dirt bikes except for a little CRF 80 that I got for my grandson several years ago. And I'll probably be selling that because he's outgrown it. But like I say, I do have a little fun on this. I like getting out on the road. This isn't my first street bike, but it's the first one I've owned in quite a while. I've been mostly just dirt. And if you saw my previous video, my 450 MXC, I did have it dual sported, but I took it on a rather long run, on dual sport type run, where it was mostly road, and that seat's not very comfortable if you're sitting down. Most of the time, if you're riding off-road, you don't even notice it because you're standing up about 90% of the time. But wow, I was hurting when I come back from that dual sport ride. It was just a little over 100 miles. And I was happy with the gas mileage with it. I was surprised it got a little bit better than 50 miles to the gallon. Or this 1300, I'm lucky to get 35 miles to the gallon. So I'll still be looking around. Maybe I can find something that gets better gas mileage, but so far I'm pretty happy with this. Go out riding. I haven't had it on real long trips, but the way it's running, I wouldn't be afraid to take it on a 300 or 400 mile round trip. But my confidence level in it isn't up to the point where I'd want to take it on a cross-country trip going through several states. I'd have to build up my confidence because it is an older bike, 1987 model. So it's got quite a few years behind it, even though the mileage isn't that bad. These bikes go well over 100,000 miles before you have to do anything major to them. But usually they get to 100,000 miles pretty early on, and time does put some wear on the bikes, just like the mileage does. So we'll see how things work out. If I build up my confidence in it, I may take it on a long run, and if I do, I'll take you guys along with me. But I'm going to sign out for now, just cruising through town. So you guys have a good time. KTM Pappy, thanks for looking, and I'll be signing off. Bye-bye. Well, now you've seen me ride it, and you see what it looks like from the saddle. We'll take a quick walk around and see what it looks like. Like I say, it's a V4, 2 forward cylinders, 2 rear cylinders, shaft drive. You can't really see the shaft too well because the saddlebags are covering it, but if you look in there, you'll see the shaft. Floorboards for the passenger. You kick them down. It's got a nice, comfortable passenger seat on it. Take a look. There's the instrument cluster, the cruise control on-off switch, and cancel the set, accelerate, decelerate, resume, just like the cruise control in a car. It's got stereo over here in this area. You got handlebar mounted controls for your stereo, and I've also got a control that mounts on the handlebar for the CB radio, but I don't have a mic for it in my helmet. There was a mic that came with it, and the guy I got it from has it mounted in a helmet that he gave me, but I prefer to wear this helmet that I've got. But you take a look, it's not really in bad shape for being as old as it is. It's not a cherry. It's got a few little flaws on it, but overall, it's a pretty solid little bike. I call it little, almost 800 pounds little. But pretty much, there it is right there, all in one basket. Got some nice luggage, can hide away a helmet in the trunk. The side bags are large, lot larger than the Harley bags. Pretty big trunk. I said I had a control for the CB radio, and there it is right there. Can hook up a Bluetooth if you wanted to, so you can Bluetooth it. It's got communications front and rear, and here's a plug-in for the rear right back there. There's another pouch for that covers that up if you don't want it plugged in, but I've got the pouch in the side bag. But overall, not in bad shape. It's got a lot of monitors built in. It's got a gas gauge monitor. It's got a warning light up here on the dash. When I bought it, it had a compatible but non-OEM replacement battery. And the OEM battery has a monitor on it, so if the battery starts going bad, the light on the dash comes on. Well, the non-OEM doesn't have that monitor, so the wire for the monitor is disconnected and a light shows a warning for the battery, but the battery's fine. It's got a voltmeter where you can monitor the battery anyway. So I went and totally trust the light regardless. But it's got dual disc up front, hydraulic clutch. It's got over here your emergency lights. Pretty much what you see is what you get. It's got a indicator light if you got your headlight on, or if it's not functioning, you can tell just by looking at the dash. That's pretty much everything we got. We'll catch you later. I'm signing out for now. It's KTM Pappy, even though I don't have my KTM anymore. Bye-bye.